Hello everyone.
Hi. Can you all hear? Can you all hear?
me?
Okay, so it seems that everybody can hear us. Okay, let's start.
Alright.
Yeah, it seems that the updates are very frequent. I'm Chongho, the executive producer. It's really nice to meet you guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Junhee, project director.
Yes, and I'm the character designer, Sunghyun, aka Origami.
Oh, origami poor saying that your skin has gotten better.
Yeah, I changed my makeup.
Well, everyone. Oh, yesterday we had the second update of the Halloween. I hope that you're all having fun. Did Granhill, Sonia, and Tanya give you a good scare? Really curious to hear all your feedback. We're back a little sooner than usual this time. That's because G-Star 2025 is happening next week in Busan. So a lot of our team members will be busy because of G-Star, so we decided to bring you this update a little bit earlier. So today's stream is packed with a lot of stuff that you will definitely enjoy.
Okay. And I believe that there were some issues in iPhone, so we're going to be giving a very quick fix. I'm very sorry for all of the inconveniences. So everything that we share today goes live 2 weeks from now on. It's on November 20th. We have a lot of things to share, so let's get ready for the lineup. Okay, so as you can see, this is the template. Everybody knows about this, and we have a lot to share today. So we have a lot of questions that came in. Thank you very much for making the preparations and for all of the feedback that we have received off of the questions. We're going to be addressing them today, so we'll just move on very quickly.
So you'll probably expect this. So I always start the stream with Junhee, did you prepare anything? But I'll just get into it. We'll kick things off with a little gift, 10 draw tickets. Please check your mailbox right after the broadcast. Alright, then let's get started. So first up, we've got news about the new story pack. Story pack 19. Alright, then let's get right into it.
Okay. Now, the pack is Story Pack 19, Forgotten War. And we revisited the late arc flow and adjusted direction, so the update slipped a bit. Thanks for bearing with us. The Korean dub drops with the update, while Japanese dub will follow after. Thanks in advance for your patience. And at the request of Era, a demigod, Team Eustia arrives at an island, and it's the last battlefield from the war against the Night World. There's a gate connected to it, and Era tells us someone's trying to break the seal and asks the team to stop it. But in this island, no one is living, only lingering spirits of those who fought the Night World from the underground realm. And the team cuts through spirits who still think the war isn't over and head for the gate. So do you think that Team Eustia can protect the steel on the gate of the Night World? This wraps a major arc, Story Pack 19, Forgotten War. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Alright, continuing.
Okay. Now from packs 1 to 8, 9 to 14, and 15 to 18, these 3 seasons wrap up with pack 19. And from Story Pack 20, a brand new setting begins. Pack 20 is planned for early 2026, and until then, this is the last main story mention, so I'll tease some post-20 characters today. Very nice.
Something is covering her chest.
Yeah, it's a different version of a sticker.
It looks like the silhouettes of a lot of characters. 12, right?
Yeah, it looks like an acrylic stand, and it seems that there are 12.
Yeah, it does look like an acrylic stand. The wing silhouette. I think it will look really nice if we turn it into a figure. The girl sitting on the right side, I think that will appeal to a lot of players.
It seems that they are seducing us.
I mean, this is my first time actually seeing this silhouette, but really nice. A lot of hype.
Now, you've heard of them in season events, and the huge character that fills up the screen in the back is Iveloa, and on her hands, there are 12 reveresses. They serve Iveloa as their mother and act by her will. Now, you know Greta from the previous season event, Stigma of Dreams. She is number 5, and Darian and Sonia, who are both from earlier seasons, are number 7 and number 11. Their numbers are branded on the body, somewhere in their body, and the lower the number, the stronger they are. Starting from Pack 20, they will appear as top antagonists, but also playable and attractive at the same time. And by the way, guys, they are all female.
It looks really nice. I really like that.
And this is the image that we have already shown you in the Korean stream. First, we wanted to highlight Iveloa's big heart hidden behind the reveresses. She'll appear with power to match that size.
It looks very powerful.
We can already feel how strong she is. Yeah, we cannot reveal more. Sorry, guys.
All right, next up, we've got news on the new season event. Junie, take it away.
Sure. Now, this is a season event called Crossroads. It's basically a post-epilogue of Pack 19. Facing a towering enemy, Sherazade and Grey feel their limits and grow in their own ways. Oh, look at Grey's outfit. It's so flashy. It seems like he's a king or something. Is he actually on that side? Well, please take a look at the story.
So after this story, Grey will be stepping back from the spotlight for a while. He'll be preparing for the future in his own way. He won't appear in the main story for some time, but don't worry, Grey fans, he's not gone forever. As one of the original characters, we made sure to honor him with a stunning new standing illustration.
So she used to have the best legs in our game. It's really curious to see her leveled up look.
Yes, that's right. This story mainly focuses on the growth and journey of Sherazade and Sarah.
Oh, look at this image. She's so impactful.
Yes, very impressive. How will Eclipse and Sarah's growth be connected? Find out in the season event. Enjoy! This event will run for just 2 weeks, no separate parts this time. The story will be fully completed within this single event as well.
Yeah, so I think that it's really going to be very compact.
Yes, yes.
Okay, next up is Story Pack Revamp. Junie, tell us the deets.
All right. So it's been a while, but Story Pack 19 is finally here. We know it's hard to enjoy a new story if the previous ones didn't quite click, right? So before releasing this one, we renewed Story Packs 15 to 18, which make up Season 3. The overall storyline stays the same, but we've improved several scenes that fans pointed out, mainly by adjusting or removing some dialogue. Coming up next, there will be some spoilers, so if you haven't played Story Packs 15 to 18 yet, you might want to be careful from here on out. First, we added the PV trailers directly into the game. We felt it was a shame having those immersive PV trailers only as separate videos, so now, except for the parts that were already used as special scenes, those PV trailers were included into the story itself. Next, we've shortened the dimensional gate segments. Many players said that it felt overused, and we totally agreed. So from now on, unless it's really necessary, characters will walk in and out instead of just teleporting. We also reworked the Storas's design and concept. He's supposed to be one of the strongest figures in the world, but his early, plain-looking design didn't really match that. So we revamped him with a look worthy of his status as a true villain.
Yeah, so it's like an ajoshi at the convenience store, you know?
아저씨 at the convenience store?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he likes to drink rice
Makgeolli,
wine.
like the rice wine? Well, anyway, as for Atrax's Eye, Storas's most powerful ability, it was honestly too overpowered, which made it hard to keep future stories balanced. So we made an adjustment. Now, even with that eye, he cannot see the future of someone whose fate is stronger than his. We also refined the scene where Gray loses his relic and simplified the overall concept of the Holy Relic. Lastly, we scaled down the Black Dragon Arcanor from Story Pack 17. Many players pointed out that it didn't make sense for humans to take down a dragon powerful enough to destroy the world. And regarding the feedback, we agreed. So now Arcanor is reduced to an unnamed ancient beast instead of having the name Arcanor. And its visual size has also been reduced for consistency. We've also changed Olivier's ending. Well, we actually mentioned this in the Korean stream before, but wanted to share the same update with our global fans as well. In the previous stream, we said the ending won't change, but after reading all your feedback, we gave it a lot of thoughts. And after a lot of internal discussion, we decided to make a change. Originally, Olivia's story ended with her complete disappearance, but so many fans expressed how sad they were about that ending. And honestly, our team still had a lot of love for her as well. So now, instead of her vanishing entirely, her soul and memories fade, but her body remains in a deep sleep. It's still a bittersweet ending, but we felt that leaving a hint of life gives a much warmer, more comforting closure. We also reworked the reason behind her downfall. In the original story, Liberta ended up getting too much hate, and it didn't feel fully convincing. So now Olivia's corruption has nothing to do with Liberta. We know we once said we won't change it for those who liked the old story, but we also saw comments like, who are these people that liked it? Or do they even exist? Or are they just clicking satisfied in the survey? Honestly, what we worry about the most are the silent players, those who don't leave feedback but might still feel something's off. Outside of Korea, it's not easy to get direct feedback. So we rely a lot on surveys, and those who don't respond remain a mystery. Because of this, we handle most policies, including story, very carefully, knowing some players dislike change itself. We only make a change when we are confident it's the right upgrade, and unless feedback is overwhelmingly one-sided, we stay cautious. So we were conservative about changing the ending too. This wasn't a simple kill or save choice. We asked ourselves, what ending truly fits Olivia? And one comment really resonated. Even if Olivia gets weaker, I hope she stays alive so Yustia can be happy. To be honest, ever since Olivia first appeared in Story Pack 13, we planned her story to end with her death. But looking back now, that might have been the wrong path. Everyone on the team really loves Olivia, so as the main character of the second anniversary update, she should have had an ending that truly reflected their love. We deeply regret that we couldn't give her that sooner. We sincerely apologize for any confusion this change may have caused, and from now on, we'll be extra careful with major story decisions like this, especially when it comes to a character's death. Just like Story Pack 19, the renewed stories will include Korean voice acting, and Japanese dubbing is currently in the works. We'll release it as soon as it's ready.
Okay. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm just going to be drinking some water. I'm getting very thirsty for all of the updates. Okay, so since we have a lot of story renewals, there was a very long update, and I'll just move on to the next one. So it is about our plan for the 2026 story content. Please go ahead, Junie. Are you okay?
Yes. I'm less thirsty now.
Origami, it seems that you're very silent.
Maybe I should
Just
doze
doze
off a
off?
little bit, have a little nap here.
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, please go ahead.
All right, let's talk about the renewal direction for story packs 1 to 14. Based on your feedback from global surveys, the biggest priority is to make the early chapters more immersive. Players also pointed out several things, like the sudden actions of Latel, a few frustrating or unclear story progressions, power balance issues, and wanting to know more about each character's background. The next main story will start with Justia as the main character, and it's being designed to address all of those points we just mentioned. And one more thing. We're collaborating with experienced external writers for this early story renewal. We'll share more details once we're ready to announce them. We previously mentioned we'll update it in the first half of the year, but since we're now working with outside writers and not limiting the scope of revisions, we cannot give you an exact date yet. We have to continue our discussion with the external writers how much the scope will be. Still, the main story is the foundation of the game. We'll take our time to make sure it turns out great. In 2025, we mainly focused on expanding the main story, but in 2026, we plan to give character packs equal attention and release more than 10 packs total, making sure there are no content gaps. We're also preparing to show more parallel worlds through character packs, but we understand some players felt it was harder to connect with new characters from unfamiliar worlds, so for the first half of the year, the character packs will be linked to existing worlds instead. And since more new packs can increase field fatigue, we're adjusting the system. Repeatable rewards like drops, gluties, and monsters will be removed, while one-time rewards like treasure, chests, and investigation items will give higher rewards instead. And we'll give more update regarding this later. Once you clear all quests, you won't need to re-enter those fields, and no in-game shop NPCs will be placed there as well. These changes will start with the 2.50 year winter event pack this year. You don't hear my voice cracking, right?
No, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm self-conscious. Sorry. Sorry, let me drink water once more.
Yeah, there's a lot that Junie needs to share, and it's only 20% of the updates that we've shared so far.
All right, let me continue. In 2025, our focus was mainly on expanding the main storyline through the story packs, but in 2026, our top priority will be maximizing each character's charm. In other words, cranking up the character appeal factor to the fullest. We totally understand when players say, I want to dive deeper into the characters, but there's not enough content. Right now, the only real personal story we have is through Glue Talk, and even that ends after episode 10 with no continuation. We also heard your feedback that there's a lack of detailed storytelling, emotional depth, and character-driven moments, and we agree. So as mentioned earlier, we'll be adding a lot more character packs, which are lighter than main story packs, and every single one will focus on bringing out each character's unique charm. We're also working on something new, a series of daily life stories, which we previously teased under the keyword monologue. These will show little moments from each character's everyday life. For example, you might see Justia's cooking episodes or Sarah's story involving magic stones. Daily life stories will first roll out for new characters added after the update, then gradually expand to existing characters as well. We'll also keep adding new fated guests, and every existing fated guest will get follow-up episodes. The first one will be Nebris, who's getting episode 3 around the 2.5th anniversary. Many of you asked us to add new fated guest stories even if there's no interaction yet, and yes, we're looking into that as well. beyond just pretty illustrations, we want you to truly feel who these characters are, what they like, how they think, and what makes them special. So we are working with multiple teams to make that happen, and once the plan becomes more concrete, we'll share all the details right away. All right, next up, finally, it's time for origami.
Okay, so everybody stretch. Now it's my time.
All right, origami, please take it away.
Okay. Now, I don't really have a lot to share because there's only one new costume today. I'm saving juice for the big next update, but I assure you that I'll still give you plenty today. Please stay tuned, guys. Okay, so I'm now going to be starting off with the first one.
Mm. I think this is my first time seeing this, but the white dress and the black wings coming out, it's very impactful.
It's kind of different, you know, seeing the images and actually seeing the black wings coming out of her.
Yes, popping out of the white dress is really powerful. And also, I don't know if it's just me, but I see Justia in Olivia's face. I mean, or is it the other way around?
Yeah,
There's a little bit of a Justia that I see there.
she looks just, and she has this kind of heavenly feeling, you know?
Some fan just said it's half and half or
Don't
something
keep
like
asking
that.
those kind of questions. Well, I'll be covering up the concept because Chuni, he has been sharing a lot today, so I'm just going to be giving
Thank
time
you.
so that he can breathe. Now, Olivia, which is Justia's mother and a top Valkyrie, gets a new costume. My saint, my goddess, Olivier. At last, we get to see her original version. And I'm not gonna lie, she's my not-so-holy thirst for our noble Valkyrie goddess is still alive, and I'm down bad, and I want her. That's period. So, she has a lot... I hope that she gets a lot of popularity. I hope that she becomes the fan favorite that everyone adores. And she's a light DPS with big AoE that refunds SP, and the more enemies you tag, the harder it hits. And you get more SP back.
The performance.
Yeah. Think about her, not just her. Not about the costumes and the performance. Now, Olivier appears at Pack 18's tavern, and if you saved a premium contract, use it now. I just want to be clear. Don't roll yet, guys. Go recruit her at Pack 18's tavern first, and then recruit Olivier. Don't roll yet.
But, I mean, we said it clearly, but we will still see players not doing it.
Promise, guys, don't roll. Recruit her.
Right, this time we only got one new costume coming, sadly, but I mean, as you will see in the next segment, some limited costumes are making a comeback as well. We have 2.5th anniversary coming up. We have the past limited costumes. We have a rerun coming up with those limited winter costumes. So we've spaced out the pickup schedule a bit before the 2.5th anniversary, which means that you might want to save those draw tickets. So please recruit her. Do not waste your draw tickets yet. Something big's coming. I'm telling you. So please save everything for something big that's coming very soon. So plan accordingly. All right, then let's dive into skill cutscenes.
Okay, so there's something big coming up, guys.
All right, let's go.
Oh.
So holy
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks very just.
and very pure.
Mm-hmm. And look, she's on the full screen. She's
Very white. And I love the animation, the wings.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, and I love her face expression as well.
Is that intentional? Because of Live 2D?
Yes. Of course.
Okay, so I'm just going to be moving on because if I give you all the deets, then it's not going to be that fun.
All right, there's something about the wings, so please pay attention. So I love that her outfit goes really well with her holy image, and there's a little bit of a reveal, but you know, it surely gives off this powerful charisma worthy of the strongest Valkyrie. It's a very impactful skill cutscene.
Okay, now this is the final piece of Olivia's 3 motions of pulling out the sword, and this time she pulls out the sword from her thighs. I'm probably the only one calling it that though. Everyone else has their own name for it, right? And I know that there are these concept ideas I've been saving for Olivia since last year, wanting it to hit hard, and I'm glad that they finally made it in. While thinking of something that could embrace everything and give birth to everything, my thoughts slowly drifted this away, and that's how this version came to be. And after all the darker, fallen style kind of motions, getting this righteous heavenly one from above, it really turned out hot.
It's
I love
holy
it.
and dirty at the same time. So commented. It's very I love that.
What about her foot? What if we kind of like pull out the sword from her foot?
Anyways, let's move on.
Okay.
Event pack and season event rerun. So starting with the 4th of December, this will come your way. So let's see.
Okay, now the winter event packs from 2023 and 2024 are going permanent. The 2024 pack, which was the Nightmare Winter, was the one where the legendary Bunny Eclipse made her debut. Personally, I've got a soft spot for both the pack and its same titled OST, the Nightmare Winter, which is still one of my favorites. Now then there's Memory's Edge from 2024, a cyberpunk-style story where the intense, crackling reverse bunny Rowan lit up the screen. Both packs will become permanent in December, so you can jump back in anytime and have fun with them. Oh, and heads up guys, starting with these 2, and for all future event pack permanents, your previous play records will stay exactly as they are. Now this season event, Fireworks Memories, which came out around the same time as the Nightmare Winter Pack, is getting a rerun. Originally it used SD-style character cutscenes, but this time we rebuilt it as a visual novel version with illustrated dialogue scenes. At first we'd planned to convert all past season events into this visual novel style, but lately we've seen that a lot of players still prefer the old SD look. And since switching everything to the visual novel style takes a good chunk of dev time, we decided to stop full conversions for now and just let you replay them in their original SD format. And this rerun will also run for 2 weeks, so make sure to jump in while it's live. So it's the same as Sarah's season event and this season event. So these 2 events are going to be running for 2 weeks each. Next up, we've got the Fiend Hunter and Guild Raid lineup. First is Basilic. It's a water element physical type boss that casts a shield on itself and has a battle pattern that lets it reset its own skill cooldowns. Next is EON. It's a wind element magic type monster that extends buff duration for fire element allies and also resets its skill cooldowns. So the longer the fight goes, the scarier it gets. And finally, Dark Ruler Keresinga is a dark element magic type boss. It doesn't recover much SP each turn, but when it gets hit by the boss's attacks, it gains a huge amount of SP back. That's its signature battle pattern. And the Bunny Trio, Eclipse, Celia, and Rowan, are making a comeback. They were the stars of those event packs, and now they're back together again.
These are the main characters of the 0.5th anniversary.
Yes, now all their limited costume pickups will run for 4 full weeks, and during the 2.5th anniversary period, we're dropping 1 brand new limited costume too. And by the way, it's not a buffer.
With all these back-to-back limited costume pickups, newer players might feel a little bit overwhelmed. But don't worry, the 2.5th anniversary event will be packed with ways to earn plenty of draw tickets. How about it, Origami? Are you confident about all of these characters for the 2.5th anniversary?
Yes. I am confident. We've got fresh concepts for the bunny girls again, but I don't really want to oversell because I'm a bit scared if you guys are going to be, if I'm going to be letting you guys down. But hang tight, give us a little more time, and we'll spill all the details soon.
You said that you will give your entire career for the 0.5th anniversary.
Why is it only me? All of you guys need to put all your careers in.
Sometimes I really worry for life, about my career.
If there's going to be no response from the players or fans, then I think I need to quit my job then.
But that hasn't been the case, right? So I mean, you can slip this one time, and fans will.
But it's really
understand.
up to our fans. It's not really up to us.
Our fans are generous, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I can risk my career. Okay. Then I'll risk my career then.
Okay, then I guess I'm saved.
All right. Finally, you've all been waiting for this one for too long. At last, a brand new battle content is coming. All right, take it away.
Okay. All right, now introducing our new PvP content, Golden Coliseum. Sorry it took us this long to bring it to you guys. Now on the screen you can see Greta, and right behind her it's Levia. The Golden Coliseum is, well, actually it's exactly what it sounds like, a massive golden arena built in Genar, where battles for glory never stop. Genar is the demon kingdom where only one law rules: its might makes right. Everyone there steps into the Colosseum to prove their strength and to fight for honor and power. This story takes place in the same original world as the main storyline, and Greta, who appears here as a key NPC, will also show up often in next year's story packs. This will be launching as a new pack, and its story comes in the form of a short visual novel style episode. Now, this is how it looks. Golden Coliseum is a seasonal mode, and the rules completely change every season. And each season will test out different formation concepts to keep things fresh and fun. Growth stats apply just like in other modes. Your character level, awakening, costume enhancements, potentials, that all counts. The only thing not applied is gear. So yeah, think of it like Tower of Salvation rules. This mode is all about building and refining your formation to fit whatever new rules each season brings. So to avoid the gear fatigue, like having to refit or refresh equipment every patch, we stripped out all the management stuff so that you can focus purely on formation building fun. Now let's walk through the first season rules shown on the screen here. Keep this in mind, these are still in testing and may change at launch. Okay, now starting from the top row. The field size is 5x5 and you can deploy up to 9 characters. And matchmaking is random, just like Mirror War. So you don't need to see your opponent beforehand. You just queue and go. You get 40 entries per day, but if you only care about the daily participation rewards, playing once a day is totally enough to get it. So you can do it just once a day. That would be enough. Next, let's talk about the action system. Now, the turn unit here is just one character. So unlike other modes where your whole team rushes in together, here your characters and your opponent's characters take turns one by one, alternating back and forth. The first or second move is 100% random. There are blessings for the first move and blessings for the second move, basically team-wide buffs. To offset the disadvantage of going second, the second team gets more blessing points. We'll go into the detail on blessings in a bit. Also, when we say turn all, it means one turn passes only after both sides finish their actions. And next is about rules. Now, there are no skill cooldowns. This is, I guess, a bit of a change. And SP is unlimited. You'll be spamming skills every turn. And if you get silenced or when death time starts, that's when you'll use normal attacks instead. Chains don't reset until the battle ends, so the longer the fight goes, the harder both sides hit. And other than that, you'll be starting at 1,000 rating points. There is going to be a reset, and the death time begins from turn 11. And that's all the rules. It was a bit long, I know, but thanks for sticking with me throughout. It would have been really better if we were able to see the screen together, but anyhow, thank you guys. And once the rule set is chosen, it stays for 2 seasons, and after launch, we'll keep rotating new rules every 2 weeks, then expand on whichever ones players say that was most fun. And if you got cool rule ideas, drop them in the community. We will totally check them out. We're going to be including many different rules, so if you say that, oh, this rule is more fun than the other rules, then we are going to be sticking with it. And here's the main lobby screen you'll see when you enter. There's no separate field. You move around with arrow keys in the Golden Coliseum. The main lobby works like the post-battle screen in Mirror War. And we skipped the field to cut down the extra clicks you needed in Mirror War, Evil Castle, or The Last Night. I thought that it was kind of a nuisance, and that's why we have added no field at all, but it does kind of feel empty, right? So we'll see how it feels live, and if it's missing that soul or convenience, then we might add some vibe back in later. Here's the formation setup screen. It's similar to the usual battle UI, but this time you can deploy each costume as its own unit. For example, you can send out all 4 versions of Rubia at once. And I think that this is quite of a change this time. So please stay tuned. And attack and defense use the same formation. And on the right side, you'll see a button. You can tap it and set up your gladiator's blessing. The blessings are the most important part of formation design in Golden Coliseum. They're basically global buffs that apply to your whole team, and you can mix and match them freely within a set point cap. There's no collecting or upgrading, so this means that everyone plays on an equal footing, and only the point cap changes between seasons. So just say that everybody has an equal footing, and if your formation focuses on fire units, then you can load up blessings that boost fire stats, or you could go for the counter damage buffs, HP or shield buffs, and other defensive setups. Now think of it as shared gear for your whole team, like the relics in Tower of Salvation. Since there are no SP or cooldown limits in the first season, the blessing synergy is huge, and you can get super creative with the combos. Now, one formation handles both first and second turns, but since the team that goes second starts at an advantage, totally random, and it gets extra blessing points, so they start slightly stronger to even it out. So this is the original settings. And next up is the battle record screen. You can view your match history split between first move and second move games, and if your formation gets called into another player's battle and they win or lose against it, your rating doesn't change and it won't be logged. So don't worry. Now this is how the matchmaking works. It works just like the Mirror War. It pairs you with players of similar rank totally at random, and you can skip from turn 1 if you want. Also, with Golden Coliseum, we're finally adding 3 times of battle speed.
Oh, is this new skip screen? Like for the Golden Colosseum, it's really cute. It was always Gray and Sarah, so...
Yeah, we actually changed it because Sarah and Gray kept showing up. We just let Sarah rest her legs. I'll just give her a massage later.
Season rewards will be given out as a special currency exclusive to the Golden Colosseum called Aurum coins. For example, the top tier players will get 100 coins, the next tier 80, and so on based on your rank. You can use these coins in the shop to buy draw tickets, ancient crystals, refining crystal, deco coins, and more. But keep in mind, all rewards have a weekly purchase limit. Rank-based rewards are calculated by personage, with the top 0.1% qualifying for the highest tier, and your ranking will also be displayed for honor, just like the guild rate system. Players who reach the top ranks will earn a special Greta sticker, and a ranking podium area will be added later in a future update. The season schedule runs from Thursday 9 a.m. to Wednesday midnight, so it won't overlap with the Mirror War's reset time. At launch, it will run as a trial season, and the detailed rules may still change before release. We've got plenty more to cover today besides the Golden Colosseum. J2, our battle content lead, couldn't join us this time, but he will share more details later through a separate stream or demo video. I just briefly went through the rules, but it was already too long, so please stay tuned for J2's separate stream or demo video.
Is he going to be alone in that stream?
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should ask him to do it all by himself.
Yeah, he's probably going to be the host, and he's going to be asking and answering all of the questions. Okay, so after the stream, we're going to be making corrections. I believe that there has been some mistakes or typos.
In other languages, yes.
Yeah.
So this is regarding some rewords being like 5 times more or something. I think a little bit of an incorrect information in other languages. So I think the Korean reflected the last minute change, but the translations didn't. So please understand.
Yeah, I think that for the settlement, there are a lot of things that haven't been updated yet. So please do not refer to this screen, but through an update note, we're going to be giving you corrected versions.
Yes, so what you're seeing is not final. What you're seeing is not final, so please stay tuned for the more accurate updates.
Yeah, we are going to be giving you notifications. Next up is system improvements. Tell us the deets. I'm not really sure whether if the interpreters are okay, because we're done with 50% of the updates, but there's really a lot. If we look at the columns, it was 3 times more than our usual streams, and 80% of the lines are actually Chuni's lines.
Yes.
I'm not really sure if the interpreters are okay.
So, but we're already halfway through, so we must have talked really fast. So
okay, so we're just going to take a
pause
rest.
And continue because the translators must be rapping as well.
Okay, so tell us the deeds.
Didn't you say that we should pause for a little bit?
We did. We actually did for like a few seconds. Yeah. Don't mind, guys. We're okay.
Okay, first up, we're adding a new story menu to the system. BrownDust2 shares part of the previous game's world, but we've said before, it's ultimately a different universe. So players from the first game might have wondered how much of the old world still connects. And for new players, what's this backstory everyone's talking about? So, to make it clear for everyone, we've organized all the official BrownDust2 lore in timeline order, so you can check the same information directly in-game. It will be also updated regularly as the main story moves forward. We've also added a term tooltip feature. So if you come across a word you don't know, you can check it right away. So you might be wondering, what is blood imprint? Now you can find out instantly.
So what is blood imprint?
I'm a little confused, so I looked up, but blood imprint is actually a curse created by Soros. It's a ritual that stores terra inside human blood. He experimented with it on people, and everyone died except Latel, the only survivor. Stories like this can now be found in the new timeline and glossary actions.
Okay. So move on to the next one.
Alright, next up, the timeline feature. Both the story packs and season event stories tie into the main storyline, so we've organized them in chronological order to make the timeline clear. The top row shows the story packs, the bottom row shows the season events. You can tap each logo to jump straight into the story. And also, we've added a glossary tab that I mentioned earlier. They're listed in descending order by language, and you can search directly for any term you want to search. As for the remaining story improvements, we couldn't finish the season event log view. And also replay for past event stories. This time, unfortunately, we had to push them back. But don't worry, they are coming in the next story update.
Is it going to be added in the 2.5?
It's going to be January, not the 2.5th anniversary. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's only 2 months away, guys, so please stay tuned. Yeah, there has been a lot of content that has been updated, but I believe that there has been a time gap. So overall, when we're designing it or organizing it, we're definitely putting that into account. But I guess that we have a huge event coming, which is the 2.5. Maybe some are missing, but please stay tuned. Next up, what is it, Chuni?
You'll also be able to preview cutscenes for costumes you don't own yet. In the collection menu, you can check out all costume skill cutscenes. The ones you don't own will appear with a gray translucent overlay, but you can still watch the animations. For costumes you do own, you can freely view their skill cutscenes from the character details screen. Alright, you must like this. Next up, Pack Shop UI improvements. Now all shops that were previously only accessible through field NPCs have been combined into one unified shop interface. So no matter which pack you're currently in, you can easily browse and trade items from any other pack's shop. You can now filter and bulk purchase just the cooking ingredients you need. When selling in bulk, you can now choose by ingredient or dish type and set your own markup rate before selling everything at once. Also, the discount or markup rate applied when selling items will now be clearly displayed in the shop UI, so you will always know the exact final price adjustment for each item. Next, we're adding the new market price chart feature. You will now be able to see at a glance today's high selling price, the best date and price to sell your items, and the details of the pack. And one more update, the top price cycle is changing. Previously, items reached their highest sale price once a year, but now for everything except equipment, like cooking ingredients, food, holy stones, and crafting materials, prices will hit their peak every 28 days. This update will go live on December 4th, so mark your calendars.
Oh, look at all of the responses and the feedbacks that we're getting from our fans. Look at the chat. Yeah, so it seems that Origami and myself, we're just not adding anything. It's just tuning it all along.
Please save your energy for 2.5th anniversary, guys. Alright, this is the individual setting for the voice actors. Regardless of the language, you can also freely set the character's voice. For example, even if the basic setting language is Japanese, you can set specific costumes interaction language in Korean. This will also be updated in December 4th.
Okay. Now, this is going to be a little sneak peek of what's coming up to the 2.5th anniversary. Now, Origami, I believe that you felt unfortunate. So please take it away. I'm just going to be stretching a bit.
I'm getting ready.
So everybody, it's time for you to stretch. Now it's my turn.
All right.
Oh, you can already see the screen.
Here are the silhouettes of the upcoming 2.5th anniversary costumes. Honestly, I'm pretty sure most of you can already guess who's who, right? Every time BrownDust2 drops a 0.5 update, everyone's wondering, okay, what kind of wild and spicy designs are we getting this time? Just hang tight. Soon you'll be able to unwrap them one by one, nice and slow.
What are you going to be unwrapping?
You know, slow pleasure. We went for a theme park style vibe at first, but somewhere along the way it started feeling like winter edition Victoria's Secret look. For this winter, we wanted to capture that warmth only BrownDust2 can bring.
Yeah, it seems that, one of them kind of sticks out because of the silhouette, right? Well, you can totally tell, but we won't know for sure. But, without the wings, you can actually tell because of her silhouette. Thank you, Origami, for the hard work. Oh,
cutscenes. Well, I put a lot of thought into the cutscenes. We kept asking ourselves, how can we warm up our fans' cold winter? You know the cozy feeling when you grab some hot snacks like hoppang, hold them close to on your way home, and take the first steaming bite? I need that warmth. I want to deliver that warmth to you.
I don't know where you get these kind of ideas.
I don't know. Like when I'm writing my script, I'm in this space, in my own space.
Yeah, you can see that there is a bow and a bowstring too, so you can probably tell who she is. Anyway, guys, you just need to wait until the 2.5th anniversary. This is just a sneak peek, so let's just wrap up. But I have one question, which is if you look at the silhouette, you have this little space where you see the highlights. Who actually asked for that? Who came up with this idea?
I mean, somebody suggested it, so I was like, oh yes, I want that. And then I took that opportunity right away.
So who gets to choose where to highlight? Is it you, Origami?
I mean, Junhee proposed the idea, but he didn't specify where. But, I took that opportunity.
Okay. So I guess Origami, it's totally up to you.
We understand each other. I mean, we didn't have to say everything out loud.
Okay, so we actually wanted to show a little bit more to our fans. That's why. So what is that? Oh, it's a gear?
Where is the hand placed on? Like
what
gear?
is she holding? Yeah, we tried to hide the silhouette, but I guess that it's the gear that you guys know.
I have no idea what kind of gear that is, but okay, we'll just move on.
Okay, so we're just going to be sticking to the lines because this is all off script. These are all ad-libs, guys. Okay, we'll move on. Okay, it's my turn now. Okay, first of all, we are going to be having a quick look at these special packages coming this November. November is basically peak deal season, right? So we're announcing these early so everyone can plan their package buys ahead. First off, I want to ask you guys, how was yesterday's November 11th buy one, get one free drop? If you needed selective tickets or draws, I bet it hit the spot, but if not, maybe it felt a little bit light. But, at the end of November, there is Black Friday, so we are prepping some major discounts again this year. It is the same concept as last time. We have 50% off property pickup packages. It's limited to one per account. It's basically the same as last year. So the pickup packages, which change every 2 weeks, we are going to be giving it to you with a 50% off. And we'll send you the notice once it drops for full details. Okay, next up, the stream version. Okay, we are currently prepping for the launch ahead of the 2.5th anniversary. Now we are prepping day and night. We have opened the shop images and pages, and we're also prepping for the event. We're at the very last stage of launching. We will definitely give you the deets later on, once everything is fixed. And the Steam version is not going to be a new one, so we are just going to be remaining the current page and also the plays as well. So it's just going to be an integration. There is going to be many different games in the library of Steam, and if you want to play on Steam, then you can also play it on the Steam environment. So you'll be playing on the same servers and version as before. However, you will be able to launch and manage the game directly from Steam and use Steam's payment options for benefits. It's a perfect time to jump in for those who haven't tried our game yet, but if you're already playing, then you can prefer the Steam environment, and this will make it very, very easy for you. So please help spread the word if people around you, friends around you, don't really know our game yet. Okay, next up. Okay, so now let's talk about the offline events for 2.5th anniversary. First, in Seoul, we'll be joining the Animation and Game Festival, also known as EGF, in early December. And in Taipei, it says a lot of question marks, and we will reveal what that means on the next slide. We will also be back at Winter Comic-Con. We've been showing up regularly now. We've actually participated in the Summer Comic-Con.
It was the summer was 107, right?
No, it was 106.
I think there's a little bit of error in the
okay. Yeah, we're going to be making changes
107.
anyway.
I mean, we can be at the 108th one, right?
That's our aim. Yeah, we're just going to be continuing on with this journey. We'll be regularly showing up at Comic-Cats. And thinking back to our first one a year ago, it feels like a lifetime ago. A lot of things changed, and we're working very hard to level up our booth again this year. And lastly, we'll be heading to Guangzhou for the Firefly comic exhibition from January 1st to 3rd. So we are very deep in preparation for that too. I know that there are fans everywhere, I guess, that you can hang out with us again. So we are putting in a lot of effort so that all our fans can enjoy. So please look forward to both the game updates and the events as well. So let's move on. Now, what's the mystery in Taipei? Drum roll, please. Show us. Okay. As you can see on the screen, we have the 2.5th anniversary event coming up. We have the Glupy Live that will be held in Taipei. Do you guys remember that we had our second anniversary live show, which was hosted at our HQ? It was actually the first time where we have invited our fans. But this time, we are going to be heading to Taipei. Well, I wouldn't say that this is a world tour because it sounds too grand, but we are trying to get bigger and better in Taipei, and Taipei is our first destination. So during our second anniversary, we hosted it at our HQ, which is located in Pangyo, Korea. However, there were a lot of things that we have learned from last year, and we are definitely going to get better in Taipei. And we did also get a lot of feedback for upgrades, so we will be giving you an upgraded, higher quality show, and we will be also sharing you a lot of details about our updates. And I know that there are a lot of fans who came to our HQ. I know that you felt that a lot was lacking, so we're definitely going to be working harder to give you better updates, and I hope that our show and event in Taipei will be way better. So Glupy Live will keep on evolving little by little. Now, please look forward to how far it's come this time. And for the recruit of the participants of the Glupy Live that will be held in Taipei, we are definitely going to be sharing the deets. We will be sending you notifications, so please stay tuned, guys. We have interpreters for the Taipei channel. I hope that they can spread out the words loud and clear. Okay, next up, we've got updates on the survey. These are actually the mid results so far. Okay, let's jump right into the first question. So the first question was, did you enjoy the story for the Halloween night season event?
So compared to the previous summer event, Beauty on Duty, this one scored a bit lower on the fun scale. It was closer to Stigma of Dreams, which featured Sonia and Jarian. I mean, it's still interim analysis, but about 1/4 of players haven't not watched the story yet. So 25% of the players haven't enjoyed it. So a little bit disappointing for sure. So the next question is actually connected to the previous one. So what did you like or dislike about the Halloween night story? So on the green text shows the positive feedback. Players said they enjoyed the cute character charm and the fairy tale-like story, plus the overall Halloween theme, mood, and music were big hits as well. On the other hand, the red text reflected the negatives. Some felt the story was too short, lacking in content, and others mentioned that the event felt repetitive, making it a little bit less fresh.
Yes, and lastly, we asked an open-ended question to those who said they haven't watched it. We asked, why didn't you watch the Halloween night story? And the top answer was simply lack of time, which, yeah, we totally get, but we also saw a lot of people mentioning low expectations, and that one honestly hurts a bit. We're really sorry about that, and it just makes us want to bounce back faster to deliver stories that actually get people hyped again.
Well, yeah, even if time's short, if there's real excitement, I think players will come back to watch. For those who said it was not fun and those who skipped it because there was no time, will work harder so it feels at least a little bit more enjoyable. And ultimately, something you can look forward to. Checking it was fun for the next time we have a survey.
All right. Next up, we asked about Angelica's faded guest story, because story is really important to us, as you guys all know. So we asked what players were saying in the community and what came out in the survey. Well, I guess it did line up perfectly, but I guess it's something that we need to interpret carefully. Chuni, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, looking at the survey results, the fun rate was lower than Sylvia's bikini agent faded guest story, and quite a few players didn't watch this one at all. So it's probably because it's the interim results, but anyways, less fun ratio than bikini agent Sylvia. Well, let's take a look at the written feedback later.
Yeah, we also asked why players found it fun or not so fun, and among those who said it wasn't fun, I guess the most common feedback was that the ending felt unsatisfying and that the story lacked conviction or persuasiveness.
Right. We got a lot of feedback on the final act. Many said the ending felt sudden and hard to accept. The cosplay show in public scene felt off. Some also felt the story lacked consistency and logic and couldn't accept the characters' actions. Regarding interactions, people said it's not enough, and also it felt censored. On the plus side, many loved Angelica's personality and uniqueness, especially her cuteness and unexpected contrasting charm. The post-apocalypse theme was interesting, but the lore explanations were insufficient according to some feedback. We had already reviewed the feedback on the final act before the survey, and we mentioned its renewal in the Korean stream. So regarding changes, we removed lines where the squad describes Angelica's looks and adjusted so her hobby is naturally accepted. We're sorry to anyone who felt uncomfortable and to anyone confused by the renewal. We'll be more careful so this doesn't happen again. So yes, we'll plan more thoroughly going forward.
Okay. We'll try our best.
Try our best.
Okay. Now, next we asked about the satisfaction with Angelica's interactions. Honestly, the very satisfied rate was a lot lower than I expected. I thought that we'd see like about 80%, but that wasn't the case. I guess maybe it was a bit tricky.
Yeah, we'll need to think carefully about how to interpret and apply these survey results. Regarding the hidden areas mentioned earlier, even though the game is rated 19+, explicit nudity is still off limits. The same goes for explicit acts. We can't show them directly. So instead, we try to express that feeling with just a hint of suggestion, something like, it might be that, or maybe not. It's meant to spark imagination without being too clear or graphic. Because we can't give all the definitive details. And as we've mentioned this before, we noticed the number of combo steps has grown a bit too much. So we're not planning to push it beyond a certain point. Here, combo means the number of input stages, not the type of combos. So for the intimacy scenes, the goal was to show rising emotion and rising excitement to make the experience feel more passionate. That's why we added more stages and combos. But we also realized that players unfamiliar with those mechanics might find it hard to fully enjoy. So we'll keep fine-tuning things to make sure as many players as possible have a comfortable, enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I think that it was because of Sylvia. You know, it had a very hard impact.
Right.
It was really hard to please our players. Okay, so we'll be moving on to the next. We asked which skill, cutscenes, or character costume you liked the most. Since players could pick multiple answers, I think we can read this one kind of like an overall satisfaction score for each costume. So You know, Granhild gets a lot of ratings, but Sonia, not so much. What do you think, Origami? What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's pretty clear we're seeing strongly split tastes among our fans. Each character appeals to very specific preferences. So if you look at it that way, Sonia actually held her ground pretty well. Like, given how split the tastes are among our fans. And also for Granhild, her cutscenes really stood out. It felt fresh and memorable. So when we worked on Granhild, I was honestly worried they might feel too soft. It's not that intense, predatory styles. It's more of a playful peekaboo charm. So I wondered if that'd be enough to satisfy everyone. But seeing the reactions of our fans, I realized our fans have refined tastes and can appreciate many different flavors. So to me, this whole thing is modern art, real creativity. And after seeing players wanting even more impact from the girls' cutscenes, it made me think. I mean, I'm cautious, but maybe we can take just a small step further next time.
Yeah, but it's actually not something that we have prepped, but we heard that it's risky. So if you go a little step further, then it might be really dangerous for us.
Yes,
so
1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Maybe we need to go 2 steps back, or maybe a very small step forward.
I mean, Wedding Raffitia had split reactions, but what happened to our courage and bravery after that, situation?
I mean,
we were scared.
Yeah,
right?
We were very scared. It was so risky. Okay, next up, we asked which of the recent improvements players were most satisfied with. Now, this one also allowed multiple picks, so it's basically like seeing everyone's individual top ratings. The Tower of Salvation update and the increased talent skill count scored the highest, but to be honest, we'll keep pushing until that number hits a full 100%. It would have been really better, or really good, if it was over 80%, but too bad.
Yeah, right. A lot of players were hoping for Tower of Salvation improvements and simplified field content. So that probably explains the high satisfaction ratings. So we understand that the high satisfaction means that we did what our fans have been wanting for a long time. So with the remaining updates, we'll keep pushing to reach the 100% satisfaction, just like Jongho said.
All right. Now, the next question was one we were really curious about. We asked if players are consistently using talent skills to collect resources. We found out that almost 90% of respondents said they do use them regularly, which was great to see. Then we followed up, what exactly does regularly mean for everyone? And for those who said they don't farm consistently, I think it was about 11%, we're going to be taking a look at the reasons. So about half of the players said that they know how the system works, but just they don't use it because it takes too much time. I think that it really differs based on how we interpret this. So skills like absorption and assemble are meant to speed up resource farming, but a lot of people still said they don't use them since it actually feels time consuming. And there are definitely players who said that they don't really know how to use these skills, so we're planning to improve how we explain field rewards and how they work, and at the same time, make the whole process more convenient. So I hope that more people will actually use their talent skill.
So all right, let's continue. So yes, this question was meant to see how consistent players actually are. So 50% said they use all their ability skills up to their limit, and around 40% said they play enough to complete daily quests.
Yeah, we looked at players who do what we call the overpower run, basically clearing through every pack to grab all of the overpowers. We figured out that about 5 to 6% of the responses said they do this, which actually means that it lines up pretty closely with their internal data.
Right, so we also asked how players would like to improve field currency farming, and since it was a multiple choice question, the results showed a wide spread. About 60% chose the option quick battle, So that was the highest portion, saying they would prefer that style of system. Meanwhile, options like play once a week but increase rewards or Lion's Roar that I suggested didn't quite reach 50%, sadly. It didn't get the majority response.
Yeah, it's only 50%.
It's a shame.
Yeah, but looking at a bigger picture, we're reviewing two main approaches right now. One is turning all regions into something like a quick battle system you can manage from a single screen, and the other is keeping the normal format but improving everything else around it. We've already said that new packs won't include repeatable rewards anymore, so to get all the field rewards, you just need to clear each area once across the existing 34 packs. We haven't finalized which improvement plan we'll lock in yet, but our goal is to make it at least as convenient as a weekly reset system, or even better. The field content simplification has been one of the top requests from our players ever since the last dev Q&A. Well, sorry that we took so much time to bring the real changes. We did need more time to discuss internally, but we're definitely going to be going to the direction where we can please all of our fans and that you can feel convenient playing. And during our meeting, I think that this is a feedback that our top rankers have been discussing time and time again. So I just wanted to say thank you and sorry.
We'll keep thinking, we'll keep searching for better solutions. Next, we asked about changing the Fiend Hunter event period, but the response was pretty clear. Most players said just keep it as it is.
Yes, that's right. And even though we mentioned that rewards and level-based difficulty would stay the same as before, the overwhelming majority of players still answered that they prefer to keep things as they are.
Right. This shows that we should be careful about changing rules once they are set.
Yes.
Will make the practice period actually matter. A lot of people want to keep it as is, according to the survey, so we'll make sure that the practice period will count. We're also considering early access to new costumes in practice mode only, but we'll have to see if it's technically feasible.
Yes. Right now, there are no plans to release new costumes during hunt hours. Like before, new costumes will mainly launch during the practice mode period. And this is because of external events and issues. So if there is any chance that we can launch new costumes, then we will make sure that we will adjust the system so that what happened this time doesn't happen again.
Next, we asked about collaboration rerun satisfaction. Overall, the responses were mostly positive, but some mentioned frustrations with the lack of new content and issues related to SR characters.
Yeah, so a lot of players said they were happy overall with the rerun itself since so many people had been asking for it. And we are definitely going to be giving a quick fix. So within a very short period of time, we will definitely make improvements. And I know that a lot of our players said that they want a rerun, and I guess that pretty much a lot of players were satisfied with it. But aside from that, we got a lot of feedback saying that the balance needs to be updated for the current meta, that the event duration felt too short compared to the original 4 weeks, that they'd like to see new characters or content added, and that SR gear was too hard to obtain. And about the SR gear, honestly, hiding behind contract limitations with the IP holder felt like an excuse, and it didn't really feel good about it. I mean, we didn't feel good about it. And that's actually a company issue, but from the player side, just feels bad not being able to get the gear you want. And you shouldn't have to care about it. So there's actually a new no rerun currently scheduled for this collaboration, but if we do one again in the future, we'll come prepared with clear, concrete improvements this time. And to everyone who felt disappointed or frustrated, we're really sorry, and we'll do better.
Right. Lastly, for the open-ended feedback, most of the comments, so from the left, it's most frequently mentioned. As you can see, most of the comments were actually about the story.
Yeah, we also received a ton of feedback about improving story quality and making each character's personality stand out more. There were quite a few technical comments too, especially around iOS performance issues and asking for UX improvements. Players also mentioned they'd like to see more new characters and costumes, better drop rates and rewards, and fresh new content overall. On the flip side, we also got positive feedback about the game's F2P friendly operations, and players appreciated our communication and responsiveness to user feedback. Of course, some also asked for more sexy characters and outfits, and a few even requested more explicit adult content. But overall, what really came through is that everyone wants to see the game keep growing and improving. We'll take all these comments seriously and keep refining the plans we mentioned earlier so we can show you an even better version. Well, we are definitely going to be reviewing thoroughly, and we'll make sure that we do better.
All right, we went through all the surveys. Thank you so much for taking the time to fill out the survey. Junhee?
Yes. I'm so out of breath. Okay, thank you guys for taking the time out to fill out the survey. We will compile all of the responses and share the full results in a separate post once everything is finalized.
All right, then let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have pre-submitted Q&A. So we collected questions before the stream. Through our social media channels, we gathered questions from all global regions and put together the most common topics players asked about. So let's jump right in. The first question, we'll first go through the Korean channel questions. The first one was about the update interval and quality of the main story and how we're planning to address those concerns. It's actually, the question is long, so the translations take up the entire space, so I apologize for the inconvenience in reading them.
Yeah. It's actually because we have got the exact feedback and put it into the slides. That's why it's so long. Sorry, guys. So for the story packs, we're planning to release 2 in the first half of the year and 2 in the second half. This is the overall story pack. We are planning to release 2 in the first half and 2 in the second half, as mentioned. And next year, we will feature a lot more character-focused, lighter stories, but the main storyline is still the backbone of long-term service, so we're also renewing the early chapters. And yeah, I get the concern that if the same person rewrites it, it might end up feeling the same. I am definitely on the same page with you, and that's exactly why we're bringing in a skilled external studio for a fresh new perspective. The future story packs are being led by our new writer. I think that we have already mentioned his name in our previous broadcast. His name is Yuil. He's working very hard to prepare for the new stories. And of course, there are many elements that make a great story. For me, I think that one of the most important part is a compelling villain. And I personally think that what left the biggest mark is through Act 1 up to Story Pack 19, which was the Apostles. They were supposed to have that God hand from Berserk. This is a really nice IP that I loved. And it should have had that kind of level of presence, but in the end, it kind of felt flat. We dreamed of the God hand, but ended up with Morphia. Well, on the screen or on the script, it says Morphia. But I guess that we ended up with a lot of things. So this time we're putting real effort into building the next generation of villains, the 12 Reveresses. And from the design phase onward, the story team and the art team, including Origami, have been working closely together to fine-tune their concepts. And they're really already looking as striking and memorable as Darian and Sonia. And remember in the Golden Colosseum story, there was that showdown between Levia and Greta. We're also bringing back familiar faces from the previous game, like Levia and Rebencia, but reimagined within the original BrownDust2 universe. On top of that, we'll be adding slice-of-life episodes between main story arcs so players can see the characters' softer sides and everyday moments unfold naturally.
Alright, next, many players mention it's a bit disappointing that Glue Talk is currently the only way to interact with characters. How does the dev team feel about that?
Well, all the Glue Talk guest stories are set in parallel worlds, which means each storyline stands alone and doesn't directly connect to the others. And because of that, whenever a new guest character is introduced, it can feel like their connection with the previous ones just ends there. To fix that, we're currently preparing 3 follow-up episodes for each Fated guest story that's been released so far, up to episode 10. Also, since new Fated guest characters have to come with full interaction systems, it's realistically hard to add them any faster than our current pace. So we're considering adding partial guest stories tied to each costume, even if they don't include full interaction scenes. So including Origami and other team members are working very hard, but there are the animations and the interactions, so it's really difficult to do it any faster than our current pace. We don't really know whether if it's only going to be like a one-on-one conversation that we're adding, or whether if we're going to be adding it to a different content. We're actually discussing a lot of ideas at the moment. However, it might seem that the story is going to be a pushback, so we are definitely making some fixes here and there, so please stay tuned. And about the parallel worlds, I think that the costumes are here and there, so a lot of people said that it feels a bit disconnected. We totally get that. So going forward, we will plan stories that flow naturally within the existing parallel world framework while keeping consistent personality and concept, even if a character's identity shifts across worlds. So definitely our goal is consistency. And we will be very careful not to hand-wave things away like, well, it's a parallel world. So consistency includes personality and breast cup size as well.
Yeah, it's very important to keep the breast cup size consistent, I guess.
Yeah.
So those two were definitely the most common overlapping questions. Strengthening story and character depth really are key for sure. Next, we got a suggestion about grouping character costumes by parallel worlds. So it ties nicely with what we just discussed, right, Junie?
Yeah, so it seems the chat says that it's better if it's bigger. Yeah, I totally agree. And a lot of players mentioned they only recently realized that each costume actually represents a different personality from a parallel world. That's totally on us. We admit the explanation wasn't clear enough. And to clarify, characters are different individuals across worlds, but within the same world, all their costumes share one identity. We're currently working on improving the story menu UI so that this concept is easier and more intuitive.
Some players suggested combining the assemble and absorption shortcuts into one since they are taking up too many slots now. It could work, though it might depend on each player's skill level. We just need to decide how the usage order works. For example, maybe use characters who need experience first. So maybe we can start with a lower skill or the higher skill.
Well, we're not going to be filtering based on conditions, but we're going to be allowing the players to customize themselves. But I think that whichever feedback is going to be working for us, because we'll definitely reflect that. And it's not going to be December, but whether it is January or February, we are definitely going to be including it in our next update.
So the ability skills, because we are using that UI. For the same action, so there are 4 different buttons. That one button says punch 4 times, the other one says punch 3 times, so it's repetitive. So we will improve the structure for sure.
Okay, next question.
Some players felt the Tower of Salvation update was a bit limited. They were hoping for a bigger change in the content itself.
Yes. Now, the Tower of Salvation has been updated in a relatively light direction, at least compared to a full-scale, traditional roguelike experience that offers new thrills every run. So to truly deliver that feeling of freshness and unpredictability each time you play, we realized we'd need to add new rules and new content systems. And just adding relics, crafting recipes, or battle elements alone wouldn't make it feel meaningfully different from the current one. So we've decided to develop a completely new roguelike Exotic mode as a brand new battle content instead. And as for the QOL request we've received, like adding a preview function when enhancing costumes, making the tower map and maintenance menu accessible anywhere, and showing knockback directions in the character maintenance screen, those are all planned to be included in the next Tower of Salvation update. We're not going to be leaving them out. We are definitely going to be improving them. However, new content is going to be totally new.
All right. There was also feedback that while character performance keeps improving, the exchangeable items and their value from main content currencies aren't keeping up with that pace of growth. With inflation, I think this opinion is valid. What do you think?
Well, when we first designed the in-game shops, our concept was to avoid selling everything everywhere. Each shop should have its own distinct purpose and theme. But seeing how items like selective costume enhance in the Golden Thread shop and previous pickup characters in the Powder of Hope shop turned out, we realized that adding some widely useful but non-core items could still make sense. So these are some of the things that we are going to be selecting for sure. We're definitely going to be adding them. But for other items, let's say like adding limited amounts of refining powder and gold to both the Mirror War and Evil Castle shops, since they're always short in supply. We are also going to be reviewing them, like price reductions or adding new product lines. Those aren't just on the table yet.
So next question. So we actually we disappeared from the screen to make sure that you see the questions more clearly in all languages. So thank you for understanding. Some players also shared feedback about quality of life, QOL improvements, or content like Fiend Hunter and Guild Raid. I'm curious, what does the dev team think about those suggestions?
Well, we've seen the feedback about adding practice battles above level 16 for a while now. And we've also queued up a battle statistics feature as part of the next round of improvements, but these will be implemented together in the upcoming Fiend Hunter update.
All right. The next one is about crit damage. It's definitely something that needs to be addressed for sure. I mean, there are other games out there with crit damage, but we have a high proportion of crit damage. So this is something that we need to address at some point. So how does the dev team think about this?
Well, to be completely honest, we haven't come up with a decision yet. We had a lot of rounds of internal discussion, but as you know, this is a question or a feedback that keeps on coming up. The issue with crit damage and crit rate. You know, it has been a long-standing one, but since we don't really have a clear fix, it's still left as is so far. So instead, we wanted to make it very clear to our fans. It's probably because I lack ability. I wasn't able to make any changes so far, but I just wanted to bring this up. So we have been remaining as is in Guild Raid and Fiend Hunter. So the guaranteed crit damage only kicks in from the third chain and up in endgame content, but with setups like Swimsuit Therese, where buffs only trigger below chain 5, some players end up retrying battles over and over just to optimize chain 1 and 2. And to prevent that kind of loop altogether, we discussed two possible approaches, either making 100% crit rate easily achievable for everyone or boosting crit rate only within specific content types, but both options come with their own balance concerns. And among the ideas we've discussed so far, we might tie extra crit rate to the awakening system as an added bonus, or include it as a collection stat. So maybe these are some of the options that we can discuss. And in PvE, since you can just retry fights, crit rate hasn't been a top priority stat. But for PvP players who've built full crit setups, we talked about compensating them with refining crystals. And if we do end up letting everyone push crit rate to 100%. However, nothing's final yet. We just wanted to share the direction we're exploring. We'll give specific improvement plans in the next update broadcast.
So, we haven't seen this question in a while. This one's about the max HP cap for skills. Some players asked if we can raise the current 30,000 limit.
Yes, we're planning to include this as part of the 2.5th anniversary battle balance update. And please wait, Angelica fans, something's coming up.
There was also a question regarding this in the survey about whether the team is considering a fundamental simplification of how currencies are collected in the field.
Yeah. Like I've mentioned earlier, I'll keep it very short. We're working on making it at least as convenient as a weekly reset system or even smoother than that. That's pretty much all that I could say.
All right. The next are the questions from the English channel. So a little bit of a lighter one, mainly about Blade's new costume and faded guest interactions. Whether they're upcoming or not.
Yes, we've got similar questions. But as for the specific character request, we got a lot of questions about Mamonir, Greta, Granad, Vela, and Blade. So these were a lot of questions that we got. I think Vela comes up pretty frequently. Now, Mamonir was a fan favorite from the previous game, and while I can't say too much yet, I'd say there's a pretty good chance we'll see it appear in BrownDust2 next year. And Greta will also play a big role in next year's storyline. She'll be coming up pretty often, so I'd say that the odds of her becoming a playable character are pretty high as well. And for those who love cute characters after Sonya, it seems like Grenade has really caught people's attention. She's been mentioned a lot lately, so I wouldn't be so surprised if she joins the roster as a playable character too. And as for Blade, the new costume will debut in the next Hot Spring event. The faded guest character for that event isn't Blade. Unfortunately, there's actually one, but it's not Blade. But there's always room for future appearances, so who knows, maybe one day she'll make her move.
All right. There was a question about enhancing character interactions. Players said they'd love interactions that stay fun even after multiple replays. And it would be great if time or date-based gimmicks could be added to make them feel more dynamic.
Well, we're still trying to figure out how to make the interaction system feel more sustainable, not just a one-time experience. From Angelica's interaction, we learned that simply adding more complex mechanics can actually make it tiring to play. And even if we show different interactions over time, once players have seen all the fixed one-time scenes, it's hard to keep that engagement going. We also considered adding new dialogue lines for interactions, but that's a bit tricky.
There's a comment like, where's the dev life?
Thank you for thinking about my work-life balance. Now, we've also considered adding new dialogue lines for interactions, but that's tricky since it involves voice recording for all of the actors. Right now, we are only updating Korean voice lines, which work across languages because they're more about emotion and sound than speech itself. So even though it is set in Japanese, you can also hear Korean voices. But adding full dialogue would require voiceovers in every supported language. However, I think that you can still understand the moment and the emotions through text alone without relying on voice. So that's something we'll keep exploring.
Okay, next question. Players asked if the event mission rewards could be improved. Right now, the +5 reward doesn't feel worth it, so many stop at +4 instead. They are likely referring to the pickup event, and yes, the ancient crystal reward at +5 has lost some of its original value. When we first designed the pickup payback event, compared to that timing, the value dropped a lot.
Yeah, that is right. So back during the launch, I think the Asian crystals were considered the most valuable currency. So we set them as the reward for the final enhancement tier. But, since then their value has dropped and most players stop at +4 and fill the last enhancement. And using either the Powder of Hope or the Golden Thread Shop with selective costume enhancement, if we raise the reward value too much, it might feel like we're pushing players toward excessive spending. So I think that we'll aim for a reasonable middle ground. It shouldn't be too excessive, but it needs to be a fair amount. And what about the Tear of Goddess? Is it going to be too much?
And there could be some opposite feedback. Are you trying to make us pay a lot? Are you trying to force us to pay until we get Tear of Goddess? Such feedback can be received.
Yeah, I do agree. It might feel a bit forceful. That wouldn't do. So whether it is +3 or +4, it doesn't really matter, but we don't really want to get bad feedback from you guys.
All right, so next question. We also got a question asking if collabs keep coming back, are they really limited? It's a tricky topic, but for collaborations, we don't rerun them every year. That gap between Senran Kagura's Yumi rerun and Mushoku Tensei might have felt a little bit short, but Yumi was a special case. So to be clear, there are no plans to make collaboration reruns an annual thing.
Yeah, we cannot really do that on our own.
So we have to also work with the IP.
Yeah. And I think that the IPs need to keep their value. But for those, especially newcomers, I think that it needs to be a collab that you can all enjoy. So I hope that we can make this kind of concession altogether.
All right, let's move on to the next one. There was also a question about whether we plan to introduce player voting when deciding new glow talks or interactions. Personally, I think it could be interesting. Maybe because we put the costume to popular vote too annually. So along the same line, it's something that we can try, but there are a lot of factors to consider. Would it be one vote per account? Or would players earn voting rights through gameplay or events? There are several ways we could approach it. Maybe one account can earn a lot of voting rights.
This is something that only the business team can come up with.
I mean, some players would really want their favorite character to win. So, I mean, it's an idea from another project.
Yeah, well, maybe you can manipulate the votes, but there will be some characters that would be left out. I do understand that these are some of the feedback, which is why we are discussing at the moment. I do get the intention. Maybe the characters... maybe we can bring back one of the most beloved characters as a fated guest story visitor. I think it would definitely make our fans happy, but I think that we'll have to look into it.
Sorry, I just threw the idea of getting many voting rights per account out there. Sorry. So what I'm trying to say is that there are many factors to consider, and this is something that we can consider, but I'm not saying that we'll do it for sure.
Yeah, so if we're going to be doing that, then we're only going to do it once. But looking at this question, I just wanted to speak about the behind-the-scenes story from the summer popularity vote. The concept for this winter event pack was already in the works way before summer, so we had to decide on the lineup early on. We really wanted to include whoever would win first place in the popularity vote, but the poll results were scheduled to wrap up much later, so we had to take a guess. At that time, Wilhelmina's popularity was going through the roof, so we went ahead and designed the pack around her, and thankfully, when we saw the vote numbers on day one, we knew we'd guessed right. So now I'm thinking maybe we should plan the next event a year after the vote ends so we can base it directly on the actual results. But then again, waiting for a whole year would probably drive everyone crazy. So we'll just figure something out.
So next, we have a question regarding if a story gets remade, will the rewards reset too? I mean, probably not, right? If they did, some accounts could end up claiming rewards twice or unevenly, which could cause all kinds of issues. What do you think, the dev team?
Well, for story packs 15 through 18, only parts of the story will be adjusted. The rewards are not going to be reset. It's closer to a renewal than a full remake. And as for story packs 1 through 14, the exact scope of the revisions haven't been finalized yet. If it ends up being a renewal level update, it will be like 15 to 18, just story improvements with rewards intact. But if it leans more toward a full remake, we'll also make sure the system lets everyone replay the story from the beginning.
All right, what's the next question? There was also a question about the Golden Colosseum rewards. Players are curious what kinds of rewards we're planning to include.
Yes, we did get a lot of questions from our fans, which is why some could be overlap, so we're just going to be very straightforward and fast. Before the season settlement rewards, you'll receive a special currency that you can use to buy the items you actually need. You'll be able to choose from things like draws, ancient crystals, refining crystals, and deco coins. And even if you earn the top tier season rewards, you won't be able to buy everything in the shop. It's actually very selective. So it's balanced, so you'll have to pick and choose what matters most to you.
We also got a question regarding the Golden Colosseum settlement time. If it overlaps with Mirror Wars, then that might be a little tough, right? So having to focus on both at the same time could be pretty stressful for our players. What do you think?
Right, like I mentioned earlier, the season schedule won't overlap with the Mirror War closing time. Each season will run from Thursday 9 a.m. to Wednesday midnight.
This one's also about the popularity poll. And judging by the tone, I would say this player is definitely a fan of cute characters, huh?
Oh, I get it. So if they are in the same basket or same pool, then there would be characters that are more cute, there are characters that are more sexy. So I totally get it. Well, yeah, I'm actually very curious too who's going to be crowned the cutie captain this time. If I had to guess, the top contenders would probably be Lepetia, Rue, and Sonia, or maybe Sarah. So maybe a top 4. If we widen the pool a bit, you could also include Glacia, Anastasia, Yuri, and among the 3 to 4 star groups, probably Vernie, Layla, and Liznet. So I guess that we'll have to think about what kind of special gift to give the winner once the results are in. We don't really know whether if we're going to be proceeding with this for sure, but we'll definitely think about it.
So let's look at the next question. There was a comment hoping that future prestige costumes will have just as much interaction and quality as Eustace.
Yes. So there's a lot more than it's actually written on the screen, but to give you the clear context, since Eustace's Prestige skin was the very first one we worked on, I think that the devs went all in with passion, and the interaction quality ended up going way beyond what we'd planned in the first place. Now the team's kind of suffering trying to keep every skin up to that same bar. But some players told us that answer sounded like we don't really put as much of our heart into the work that we do anymore after Eustia, and that really did kind of hurt to hear. So to be clear, what I meant back then was more of a lighthearted comment, like their overwhelming love became a beautiful disaster, you know? The interaction team still puts the same amount of passion and care into every release, whether it's a faded guest story or a prestige skin, always aiming to make each one fresh, charming, and emotionally engaging. I'm really sorry if my words gave the wrong impression. Well, we are going to keep doing our best to deliver even higher quality interactions.
Yes, we will work harder. All right, what's the next question? There was also a question regarding whether we'll be updating the backstories of characters whose past hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah, I agree. Seeing the past stories of characters like Blade, Roberta, and Sonia really help players connect more deeply with who they are now. We're currently working on a storyline that will explore Eustia's past, and after that, we'll continue to reveal the backstories of various characters so everyone can experience their personalities and charms on a deeper level.
What's the next question? Does Liberta also have a reason for accepting Terra? This is a story regarding the story.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask this to Chongo, and I did get a clear answer on the settings. So Liberta's ability to hold Terra was something she was born with, a natural trait, almost like a mutation. That said, the Terra power within her was originally very faint, and since the Liberata family lived so close to the Arclight Order, the overwhelming divine energy in the area kept her own Terra power suppressed, making it nearly impossible for anyone to notice. But if it hadn't been for Michaela, Liberta probably would have gone her whole life without even realizing it.
All right. Next, there was a question asking if there are any hidden interactions that players have not found yet. I guess that comes from seeing all those interaction guides popping up in the community. So, I think that it's coming from the strategy guides. So, any secret ones?
Well, I've noticed that too. Most of the interaction guides get posted on the same day the new interactions go live. So if I look at my phone during the morning, everything is already posted. And for interactions that have more nudity or explicit, or that are more explicit, I think that it was really fastly posted. So especially, I guess that if you had to pick one interaction that players don't go for as much, let me introduce you to that one. So this is Lowen. If you tap on Lowen's ears once and then tap them again, you'll see them twitch a little. You need to keep tapping, and she'll keep shivering because the ears are up. So this is just a basic interaction, so you can play it very easily. And if you keep on pushing it, then you'll find it very cute. Don't think of this as something that is weird. Her ears are just, twitching. So when people first see her, their eyes usually go elsewhere. So I think that's why this ear combo interaction gets overlooked. It's available in her default state. So if you already have Bunny Lowen, give it a try. And if you don't, she's coming back in the 2.5th anniversary rerun. So make sure to pick her up then. And one more thing, we're also adding a new progress indicator and subtle hint system to help you see whether you've fully explored each interaction.
We have a question about my room random visit system. It's a very detailed question. Are most players really that active in customizing, or does it prioritize rooms with more customization or likes?
Well, we currently feature My Rooms based on a few conditions. Players with popularity scores over 10, room saturation above 50%, and those who've recently saved or edited their rooms. That's why you'll see some rooms with 2-digit likes or like others with 4-digit likes. It varies depending on activity. The reason why we did this is because before the rework, the random visit system wasn't that fun. You'd often walk into a room that was basically just Lethel standing alone on a wooden floor. So now we've set those conditions to make sure when you visit, you'll mostly see well-decorated, interesting rooms worth checking out.
So the My Room default character, we should change from Lethel to Eustia because Eustia is the main character, right?
I think that some people already miss
from fans
Lethel.
who love Lethel.
And some people are saying remove Lethel altogether.
All right, next question. There was also a request for more offline events, specifically asking if we have any plans outside of Tokyo. Yes, we definitely want to hold offline events in more regions. And our participation in Kyoto's Kyomafu event back in September was part of that effort to expand beyond Tokyo. We'll keep working hard to make sure fans everywhere can feel connected through more offline events in the future.
So there are a lot of pre-submitted questions that we've got from the Korean region. The reason is because the other regions have submitted less questions. So I want to ask our global fans to ask more questions, and if so, then we're definitely going to be addressing them during our broadcast. And we're definitely going to be expanding the scope or the share of global questions, because there were definitely a huge gap between questions we got from the Korean fans and our global fans.
Right, because the last time that we had the Q&A, pre-submitted Q&A was not long ago. So I understand that not many questions were asked because a lot of the questions were also repetitive, but please keep asking. All right, it's almost 9 p.m. So we shared a lot of updates today. We also shared survey results. We also went through the pre-submitted Q&A. And I'm sure that you will have some extra questions. So please keep asking questions, and we'll go through them together.
Okay, so let Chuni rest for a bit. I'm going to be taking the first question.
I mean, I don't know why you're so generous to me today.
Was I? Well, I mean, I'm the employee. And isn't it right for me to actually give you more a bit of a rest because, you know, you're the dev lead? So I haven't really heard it yet, but I think it's going to be the third week of November. Maybe it's going to be 2 weeks from now. So probably it's going to be updating next week, early next week. Okay, it starts from the 22nd of November, the Collab Cafe.
The pre-submitted Q&A. I mean, the questions that we didn't go through in the stream, among the pre-submitted questions, we definitely went through all the questions. So we definitely read all the questions, and we will answer them.
What about the adult figure, the one-on-one adult figure? When is it going to be launched? Oh my god.
Wow.
I don't think that would work. Can you actually enlarge the screen?
Like zoom in the chat, YouTube chat?
So aren't we going to be doing that during the April Fool's Day? Not really sure whether if we are going to be doing that, but what about J2?
J2 is totally up for it.
Is he healthy enough
energy,
to do so?
You know? The second creative work competition, that will be the 3rd of December, in celebration of the Glupy Live 2.5th anniversary live. We'll have the second creative work competition award ceremony.
What else?
Web shop currency. I don't know if I remember this correctly, but for 2.5th anniversary, I think we're planning to change web shop currency. I think that was scheduled for December. If not for December, then we want to make it happen as soon as possible. The tavern, the tavern list, the menu list will be updated. The transgender, the bisexual characters.
Oh, there's not going to be
we're not going to do
TS
bisexual or
characters.
transgender characters.
What about the Greta Playable? Is it going to be released? I think that it was mentioned before. I think that it is definitely going to be revealed soon.
It might not happen immediately, so give it some time, please.
And what about 3 times the battle speed?
It's coming on December 6th. It's actually
is
the
it
4th.
the 4th?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's the 4th.
December the 4th.
Yeah, on Thursday. So the battle speed is going to be 3 times more on Thursday. And for the figures, I think that we're going to be getting more news on that. Yes.
In the next stream, we'll have more update for you regarding the figures.
Mm-hmm.
The iPhone issue, it's going to be released as a hotfix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this for the third time today because I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the error. It will be released as a hotfix very soon.
Okay, then the next broadcast is going to be on December 13th. But it's not going to be about any updates. But there is going to be probably a demo session with J2 about Golden Coliseum. But since we are prepping for the 2.5th anniversary, I guess the demo session might not be possible. We'll have to
because
see.
We share the same broadcast.
Yeah. So it means that it might, nothing is currently fixed.
It could be like a dev note, or it could be like a brief video. Nothing is decided yet. But before the Golden Colosseum release, we'll be sure to make some kind of update through like a dev note or through a video.
Yeah, because it needs to be edited, so I cannot really say for sure during our broadcast today. Then what about other races? Maybe indirectly? I don't think that we can add them, but, in different characters and different races, maybe that could be a possible option. What about Dark Elf? Well, there could be a variety of races.
I want to know when the next Prestige skin is coming out. There's one for December, one for January planned for now.
The 2.5th anniversary updates. Can we release the dates? Well, it's going to be 1 or 2 weeks after December 4th. I think that we did mention this, but it will. The pre-registration will start at the 2nd of December, and the 2.5th anniversary update will be released on the 16th of December.
White shirt costume. A costume with a simple dress shirt.
Oh, I thought that a lot of our fans would really like this type of costume, but I guess that there's not a lot of feedback about this kind of costume.
Yes, it's possible. We can add a buffer.
Yeah, well, if there's a story to it, then probably if the timing is right, then we can maybe come up with this kind of costume. Yeah, but if it's not an original buffer, then I guess that we need to add a skill cutscene.
For example, like a Nebris, maybe she will only wear a white shirt.
I don't really know what kind of situation where she's only going to be wearing the dress shirt. But it could be a really sensitive one for our fans if we say buffer.
I don't even want to bring up the word buffer.
Yeah, so it's not only going to be buffer limited. It's just like a free topic kind of discussion that we're having.
Yeah, if there's a good concept and if it connects well to the story, then of course there's room for including that. Android and iOS, other than that, is there any way to log in? I think maybe this person is referring to an email login. I think with the Steam release, we are adding that option. But I don't know if email login, for example, can be applied to the existing mobile version. So even if it can be done, I don't think that transferring the existing Google login data is possible.
What about like leopard printed costumes? Well, Madil buffers should be released, but I guess that it needs to be some buffers that are balanced for the magic type. I think that maybe this kind of buffer can be released soon. It's a possibility.
What about leopard?
Yeah.
Leopard skin.
Like maybe we can come up with
Greta?
a costume for Greta. Yeah, I think that those with darker skins will look good in these leopard printed
Maybe Olivia,
costumes.
like Olivia, light skin but wearing leopard. Can
But
you
she's all
imagine
white,
that?
you know? All of her costumes are white. It seems that she went through something in her life.
Like a pure Valkyrie wearing leopard skin.
Well, this could be really contentious, which is why I cannot really say for sure, but if she kind of...
Well, maybe played with a leopard and sunglasses.
Well, this is something that we see from more darker skins, like, underground conditions. But like, where are you going to be seeing her with the leopard skin costume?
So at the end of each year, a bunny costume is released. So next year end, can we expect a different costume? Bunny for winter and a swimsuit for summer. That has been our concept. It has been challenging for the creative team, but it's been pure joy for our fans. We can't say for sure that it's going to be bunny again next winter, but we'll actually give it a thought on whether to do other things. Do you want to do anything else than bunny?
Well, even though it's not a bunny costume, maybe we can come up with a Christmassy-like or an year-end costume which is very fresh. It doesn't have to be a bunny. And Tyr doesn't really have to be in bunny costumes.
And regarding the Olivia, and also there is a question regarding when the Fated Guest for Olivia comes out. We're actually preparing for a Fated Guest for Olivia. Not too soon, but sometime next year, I think we'll see a Fated Guest for Olivia. I mean, that has been our plan all along the way.
Yeah, we actually wanted to add Olivia as a fated guest, but there is a certain concept and we need to add interactions as well. And as you know, there's the subculture. We actually need to respect the subculture, but that's probably why Olivia should probably add some adult conversation in the interaction. I actually want to see her have adult conversation, but it's a subculture character, Maybe we can just close our eyes, just come up with that kind of interaction. Oh no, that's not it, guys. It's not the.
So we had a lot of conversation regarding the dark side, like having a daughter. How obvious we want to be about her having a daughter? Like, do you want to just reveal the fact that she's a daughter, or what else?
We are getting some questions about many different concepts like Egypt themes or Chipao concepts, bunny girls and pole dancers, or winter costumes. We're getting a lot of these kind of questions. We're definitely reviewing them, but nothing is fixed in stone yet. Maybe we can come up with a costume of Cleopatra. Definitely, if we have a storyline for it, then the costumes are going to be out for sure.
I saw the Egypt concept in a different game, and I thought it was creative, and I really liked that. BrownDust IP's game was released, and BrownDust2's side game was released. Are you planning to release such a side game for BrownDust2? We don't have a plan for that for now.
Can you please scroll up to see the questions that were asked previously by our fans? When's the next collab? Of course, we are discussing, and we are definitely discussing, reviewing with teams, but nothing has been set in stone yet. We are talking with a lot of IP holders, but everything is in discussion, so we don't really have a clear answer for you guys yet. Sorry.
And regarding equipment, clearing equipment and making them disappear. Sorry, I apologize for that once again. The costume opinions that you've just shared, I mean, I will keep them all in mind. But it's all about the timing, you know, like I always say. I don't want to repeat the timing. But as soon as I spot the opportunity, I will include them. I will do everything I can as long as I spot the timing.
Yeah, if a character does vote number 1, then there is definitely going to be a costume for it. But for those who really like the character, maybe it could feel a bit like a penalty. I do resonate with those kind of feedback. It's not that we want to keep it low performance, but most of the performances or the overall performance of the costumes is set with an easy mechanism. We are not going to be setting it with high quality performances, but it's not going to be that low. It wasn't done on purpose, but we just wanted to kind of balance out the performances. So from now on, we're going to not keep it low.
And there's a question regarding art book as well. For art book production, we are in the process of reviewing the companies to work with. So we are almost done with the decision. The person in charge is very passionate about this project. Our goal is to release it by the 3rd anniversary. But depending on how things go, we might not be able to get pre-orders at the 3rd anniversary. But the partner company is almost decided. So if sooner than 3rd anniversary, if later than 5th anniversary. But I told my team that we don't have to rush this because we want to prioritize quality. We want to make sure that we produce something really good. We can even shoot for 3.5th anniversary. But the person in charge, like I said, is very passionate, so he wants to aim for the 3rd anniversary for now. So I said, yes, okay, then give it a try.
So I guess one of our fans really wanted to know more about Olivier, but I didn't really quite get the question. Well, yeah, there's really nothing that we're going to be adding for production. I think that some of our fans were kind of mistaken. Oh, is it because Olivier is going to be out this time? Are you asking about the performances? Do you want more details, or do you want me to kind of recap? Does anybody want to add Shuri into the game?
Earlier, I mentioned daily life updates, daily life stories. So I think for daily life stories, I will give some hints, keywords. So it's going to be some kind of content where a lot of people can come together. I don't know how much I can share. I'm a little nervous, but this is only I can share. Maybe I can add my own video or add my character in the content, and you can beat me up if you don't like the game or something. Maybe that's one idea. Or like as for the Easter egg, I can be a skeleton character. Like you can see my dead body in the game, and you can see my skeleton there.
Okay, so is the 4-cut manga going to be included in the art book? Well, I think that's a good idea, but we do have a contract for that 4-cut manga, so I think that we need to discuss. If it's going to be a fun content, then definitely we're going to be adding to it because it's a great idea. And the English version or the global version of the art book, well, We are thinking about it, but we cannot guarantee anything at this moment. The PIC is answering right at the moment in real time. But realistically speaking, the Korean version is going to be out first, and then based on the Korean version, we're probably going to be working on the global version.
Art book, ebook as well. So the Korean version will come out for ebook too, and then we will venture other languages afterwards.
So the physical one is going to come out first, and then ebook. Oh, then what about like the mini games where the characters are going to be taking off their clothes? Well, I think it needs to be fun enough. It can't just be rock, paper, scissors, and then when they lose, they just take off their clothes. That's just going to be too simple. What about the shield gears?
The shield gear,
like fire or water shield gears? Yeah, I'm very sorry to say that we need to discuss and review. I'm so sorry, guys. We haven't really fixed anything yet. It's currently under discussion. So in our next live or next update, we will come up with a concrete plan. But what we have considered was, for the basic ability 1 and 2, maybe customizing could be a possible option. And before we refine the talents, well, there are definitely going to be some players who have actually refined their talent. So maybe for like basic talent 1 or 2, we can customize them, but this is not fixed at all. These were some of the ideas that we have exchanged during our internal discussion session, but in our next broadcast, we'll definitely share the concrete plan.
So about stealing NPC, that was one of the suggestions that was made last time, right? No promises, but I think it's an idea worthy of having a meeting. So we're not gonna just let it go.
Yeah, I think that one of the ideas came out during our previous broadcast. So yeah, we're just probably
steal the underwear.
Yeah.
Steal the underwear of the NPCs.
But we're dead serious, guys. That's not just simply going to be stealing the underwears. I'm not really sure whether if this is going to be okay, because there are pros and cons. There are people who are for it and against it, which is why we're not just going to be putting this on hold, but we're just asking you guys, what do you think? Do you really like the idea?
So, I mean, is it ethical? Well, we're not going to steal the underwear of 아저씨, like old man.
I don't think it would work. It's never going to work ethically.
Like
as
I
we've
said
mentioned, yeah. Whether it is mobs or monsters, if we steal the underwear, it's probably going to be fun and enjoyable. But for other places, I don't really think it's going to work. Yeah, because there's going to be a really weird frame on it.
Well, I mean, it's a shame, so... I mean, it's a beloved world. It's not a reality. So, given that it's not a reality, it's just a game world. It could be accepted as humor. But you know, if you pay too much attention, if you're too immersed, then you might be offended.
Yeah, you need to move in the field, and you need to direct your way, which is why we did add this feature before. We had it in the system, but we kind of removed it altogether. But it does seem that it is more immersive than we have thought. But I guess it needs to be more immersed because we need to think it from a perspective that this is a game. I know that this is a really good idea and we were really dead serious about it, but we thought that we were going to get attacked from the public. We didn't want to be
criticized too much for adding that.
Okay, let's move on to a different topic.
We need an official anthology manga.
얇은 책이 상품으로 있다면
It would be great
굉장히
to
좋을 것
have like
같다라는
a
의견이
thin
있으셨는데요.
Book or
book
manga.
or like a product at an offline event to
IP를 더
buy.
크게 키우는 차원에서
So in order to
브라운더스트의
expand our
세계관을
IP or lore,
주제로 한 소재로 한 노벨라이즈
having a novelized or comicalized product based on the BrownDust2 lore, that will be a project for next year, for example.
이제 아직은 이거는 이제 아트북보다 좀 더 지금 추상적인 단계라서
It's the plan is less concrete than art book. I mean, for art book, I can say that we're targeting third anniversary, 3.5th anniversary, but for a novelized or comicalized products, I can't say specifically when we're targeting, but I can definitely say that we want to do it.
Oh, are you going to be adding a world channel where you can chat with global fans? I think we will be able to give you a more concrete plan during our next broadcast, but we don't really have an entire channel where everybody is going to be joining. I think that some of the fans or we don't really want to head to this direction. So it's not going to be a chat for all, but it's going to be a more small-scale chat, like a guild.
스팀에서 이용하면 다른 버전은 없는
If I use the Steam version, will there be some exclusive content that's not available in other versions? No, it's going to be all the same. It's just our effort to expand our platforms.
좀 더 다양한
What about cyberpunk styles? Would you add more variety into it? I guess that more furnitures would do. Yeah, we'll definitely deliver it to our team.
But it has to come with regional concepts, right? Not just furniture.
Isn't it connected to the pack? Yeah, we actually had it. I think it was separate, but it was the resources that we used were in the pack, but we had separate ones as well. But for self-cut, it's going to be included in our winter pack. I'm not so sure, but it is definitely a possibility. It's going to be after Nightmare. So in the 2024 winter pack, there's a cyberpunk style map that we have created, but maybe we can utilize the resources that we already have.
We want more Ustia costumes. Ustia is like the mascot of BrownDust2. It's probably referring to the Holy Ustia.
Well,
I think the character itself is very mature, so I don't think that we can add more costumes. Other characters need to be considered from a balance perspective, because overall we need an upgrade in the costume level. From a business perspective, yes, we can't really boost Ustia only.
Yeah, and Jenith could do it herself, but as we have added a costume for Ustia, definitely it is a possibility, but she has so many costumes. And for the top tier Ustia, there's nothing that we have in plan, but we want to show better looks in the story, so I guess that it is still left as a possibility. Maybe we can show different appearances, different looks of Ustia in the story.
Is it faster to add a prestige skin or a costume to Ustia?
For Holy Ustia? Well, maybe we can add an interaction. For like normal Ustia, there's also like these kind of features, which is why it might feel like we're lean towards her.
The 15 level score, there was a question regarding that. I think I saw something. Sorry, I'm a little slow in reading questions. I think there was a question regarding some 15 level or something.
Yeah,
Anyways.
for collabs. We are reviewing many different IPs, and we are definitely getting proposals as well, which is why we have a very wide range of possible IP candidates. For some people, you might really love it. For others, you might really not like the idea, but I hope that you can have a very loving and cheering spirit. And during the pre-submitted Q&A session, I think that we have addressed a lot of your questions, and I think that we covered a lot of questions during the live Q&A session. We're just going to be covering a few more and then wrap up. I guess that some of our fans are questioning us that, are you serious that you're getting proposals from other IP
We are
holders?
getting IP proposals, collaboration proposals.
Did you read that on purpose? Because you wanted to say that? Because out of all of the chats, out of all of the questions, you're just picking that one. I guess that you wanted to brag. You don't really have to read it, but I wasn't even able to see it myself. But yeah, I guess I was hurt.
I wanted to point that out because like the fan was like speaking in the tone of like you are getting suggestions like proposals, but yes we are, so I will be sharing more details in the future.
And you're going to be very surprised because the IP holders are definitely wanting collabs with us. But it's not brown tonkatsu. It's not that pork cutlet brand that we've been mentioning time and time again.
If you see a store nearby, please go there and then ask for the CEO's contact. Like say that you want to open a new franchise near your house or something like that.
I guess that a lot of fans are saying please.
So offline event merch, I want to buy them online. That was one feedback. Yes, we are expanding our online shops regionally. Sadly, the most challenging one right now is the US. We want to establish an online store in the US. We have the conversation going, but it's really slow, really, unfortunately. Especially building an online shop in the US, we haven't forgotten it. Due to a lot of internal circumstances, it's getting delayed, but we will get there for sure.
Next question. I don't think that this is a difficult question to answer. I think it's a question regarding filters. Yeah, so I did check the trend. Okay, so if there is going to be too much questions that are spamming the chat, then we won't be able to answer other questions. So please don't spam the chat, guys. And there are a lot of people who feel very uncomfortable about the spams. So please keep it to a modest level. And there are some questions that I've missed. We're definitely going to be checking all of the questions after the streaming is over, and we are going to be answering them. But there are questions that we can't answer due to time constraints. So please don't be too disappointed. Yes. Because we didn't answer your question. Yeah, we're definitely going to be answering them later on.
But I think it's time to wrap up, more or less. I will quickly go through the 3 questions that I read. Favorites, like favorite filter on in-game. Tab, I think. So there are filters on the top, and if we add another tab for favorites, so for that filter, you can say it's equipment, gear. You can turn it on and off. You can add some favorite gear on the tab. So we did have an internal discussion regarding that. So we refer to that as filter customization internally. So definitely one of the considerations. So it's probably coming. And also,
yeah, there is an event mission regarding related question about the draws for the pig dolls, but did mention about the male characters and their draw tickets. In the 2.5th anniversary, we're definitely going to be adding them in the pickup so that they could be picked up. If there's anyone who's going to be enhancing these male characters, then we are going to be setting a mission for you so that you can draw these characters.
And also, for the selective draw tickets for gear, we are preparing for that for the winter.
There are a lot of our fans who are spamming and others who are asking questions multiple times. These are two different things, but spamming is blocking other players and other opportunities for these players to question. So I do love the passion and enthusiasm of these players, but if you're going to be spamming questions, we're definitely going to be blocking the questions that you ask. So if you ask questions frequently or from time to time, which does not really block the flow of the entire chat, that's still okay because you're just asking multiple times. But that's to a modest extent, not spamming.
Also, we're not trying to like single out a player, like a single out a fan or something. We just want to make sure that you don't spam, and if you really want your question asked, please bump them up.
Yeah, I think people are chanting 종호.
And maybe 2 or 3 more questions, and we wrap up.
What about 윽돌이 playable? I don't think that's going to be out. In many mini games, we can utilize 윽돌이, and I think that we can maybe use them in other games, but not so sure. 윽돌이 is 유리돌이.
So
Please make the skin of yuridori.
근데 약간 저희가 윽돌이를 이용해서
So
좀 더 게임의 대중화를 노리고 있기 때문에
we want Yuridori to mainstream our game. So yes, why not create mini games using Yuridori, like indie game?
Well, what I thought was maybe we can give out free costumes for Yuridori. There could be like a run game for Yuridori, which is a standalone game, an external game outside of BrownDust2.
Like Yuridori Kingdom. Yuridori's Lies. What
is that?
game would that be?
Or Yuridori Skull. Or like the A-team of Yuridori. I really like that idea. Okay.
All right. Then I think it's time to wrap up.
Yeah.
So maybe take one more question each for each language. And then we will wrap up.
What about
horror content like Exodus? It's not gonna be there anymore. I mean, I really want horror content. Will you be okay with that?
Okay, I think that we need to answer this in steps. We really do like the idea. We want to get this out, but it might not be possible. And I know that our fans are waiting, but due to many circumstances.
Right, because the silent players, we also want to respect their opinions. And we don't want to scare them. So rather than horror content, I think we will just stay with the bright ones. Or maybe horror vibe, but very pretty eclipse horror vibe.
What about that?
But jump scare?
But I think people are going to be dissatisfied with it.
Yes, uncomfortable.
Well, I think a lot of global regions are going to be interested. Is there going to be any changes in the lineup or any additions to the lineup for costumes? Well, for now, not really.
We don't have it planned for the 2.5th anniversary, but we can't say that we won't do it forever. But for the 2.5th anniversary, not planning.
maybe we need to bring out two. We can have the draw tickets, and then if there are more costumes added, and if there are more necessary costumes, then maybe we can bring out two. The second version. And next. What else? I'm taking a look at the chat and what kind of questions are asked frequently. People say that Origami wants to go home. Can you actually tell?
Can you tell from my face? Steam version. Is there a regional restriction? So
스팀 플랫폼에서 제한되는 지역은
areas restricted, regions restricted on the Steam platform. We can't do anything about that, but we will try to make it available in all regions. But if a specific region is banned on the Steam platform, then we can't do anything about that.
스팀판의 스팀 업적은 아직은 없는 걸로 알고 있는데.
I don't think that we have accomplishments for the Steam platform, but let me check and get back to you. And also
then what about the badge lifting of the gears? I said that we don't really have any plans for that. Yeah, it was looking into this question particularly. So when are you going to be announcing the winner of the contest? We thought that we would be announcing this at the end of November, but it took a really long time for us to screen it, which is why we're going to be announcing it on the 13th of December. So we're going to be very cautious and careful about it. So during our 2.5th anniversary, we can probably open it and we can give prizes to the winners of the contest. So in our 2.5th,
so during the anniversary.
They were very serious about it.
The quality of the submissions is amazing. So it took us a long time to evaluate them. So we went through one by one, very seriously and carefully. Quality was so high, so we got so heavy-hearted because everything was so high quality.
Yeah. And I did see this in a certain setting. I don't really remember where, but during Google Play and Web Shop, where is it better to make payments? That was one of the questions that caught my eyes, but I think that Web Shop is way better, even though it's going to be a bit of a nuisance.
Why are you looking at me while answering? Be confident with your answer. Talk to our fans.
It's true, but I know that you get a lot of benefits and points from Google Play, which is why you feel it more convenient, but I actually recommend our web shop. I don't really need to go to Google. I mean, you're never going to go to Google, right?
All right, then. I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for staying with us. The live Q&A will end here. We don't know where to stop. And it is really hard because our fans keep wanting to talk to us and we want to stay forever. But, you know, finding the right time to say goodbye is also important. But
yeah. Well, while we were preparing this morning, we thought that it was really hard to check and also point out what was the most frequent questions for our pre-submitted Q&A session. But most of the feedback that we get during the pre-submitted Q&A are the more lighter questions. I think it is a good direction for us to address the pre-submitted questions during the Q&A session, but I hope that we can get more questions through this channel, and we are definitely going to be addressing the most asked questions during that session. And I think that it would be balancing out the live Q&A and the pre-submitted Q&A session in this particular way.
So we'll wrap up here. So hope that you enjoyed our stream today.
저희가 언급했던 행사들에 대한 정보를 좀 더 말해줬으면 좋았을 텐데 아쉽다라는 부분들도 있으셨는데요.
So we wish that we could share more about the events, but right before the event, we will have another chance to talk to you. So we have some time until the events coming up. We are preparing for a lot of things. We can share all the final details because things are still changing. It's too early to share all the details. That's why we are still waiting on the final details. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. So we will continue to put forth best efforts.
While preparing the latest Ask the Devs segment, we honestly ended up learning a lot ourselves from our fans. We've been reviewing feedback on UX improvements, battle balance tweaks, new system features and updates, rewards and progression design pickups, and BM elements, even though we weren't able to cover it during our today's show. And everything's been added to our improvement checklist, and we'll work through them step by step. Thank you so much, guys, for all the thoughtful and passionate feedbacks. We mentioned story a lot today, and when I checked, it turns out we said that word almost 100 times while I was skimming through the entire scenario. And it was 100 times, guys. This really means that our show, that we value storytelling and how we see it as one of the core pillars of BrownDust2's long-term growth. We'll keep listening and improving until the day our stories truly earn the prize and praise they deserve. So we're definitely going to be listening to all of your feedback going forward, and we did mention a lot saying we'll review it, we'll consider it. We'll definitely come back next time with specific plans and timelines for those improvements. And yeah, Origami didn't get much spotlight this time, but I'm calling it now. He's gonna shine bright in the 2.5th anniversary stream. He's gonna fly high. So please stay tuned, guys. There's a lot coming up.
Well, yeah, we've been really busy lately getting ready for the 2.5th anniversary. We're working hard to make sure everyone can truly enjoy BrownDust2's 0.5 festival. Our next stream will most likely be the 2.5th anniversary special, and we'll do our best to make it just as impactful as exciting for you. Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. It's a real goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.